Hey there, Hannah. Okay, so I'm recording this video as instructions for this next project. All the work that you've done for GIS consulting up to this point has, let's just say, has been project one, having to do with the flipbooks and some of the other animations and that. Project number two is going to be focused entirely on this 1880s survey of the Mississippi River. So a fresh start, new project, and you'll be getting some help from a couple of others. You'll be the project lead, so I wanted to make sure and explain all of this to you first. And when it comes to this new project, the 1880s survey project, there will also be multiple phases to it. And so let me just show you a little bit about the data first, and then we'll get into the particulars of it. So I've started a new project, calling it Point Digitizing Project. Whenever we extract data from historic maps, we call it digitizing. It's just a paper map that's been scanned, but in order to make the data available in the GIS, we have to make it into digital data, hence the word digitizing. Okay, so what you're looking at on this screen right now is the 1880s configuration of the Mississippi River Channel, and pretty incredibly on these old maps, the cartographers and surveyors surveyed in the depths of the channel. This was done by boat at discrete locations. They would go across the channel measuring, then they would move their way downstream, measure across and down, and the numeric values that you see on here are simply the depths themselves. And so this is the gist of the data and the surveys, and what we'll be doing is adding a point to each one of these survey sounding locations, depth soundings, and then so there'll be a point on each of these, and then in the attribute table of that point file, we'll record the depths. Also, because the height of the water on the day they took the survey influences how deep the water is at that location, we also then have to record the depth, or pardon me, the date that they actually did the survey. So here's a good location to see this transition point. So all of the surveys, these numeric values here, were all surveyed on December 20, these numbers are hard to read, looks like maybe December 25th, 1882. And then starting, this is the boundary line, everything upstream or to the north on this map, these were all surveyed on the 18th of that same year. And so we would want to record for each one of these points that it was surveyed on December 18th. If we keep going along, we'll see eventually, here's the next break, so all of these should be the 18th. And then starting here on the 20th is when they surveyed these points. So anyhow, that's the gist of the data. Phase one is just to get a point location on each of these sounding values. The next part of the project will be to digitize these contour lines, and that'll be phase two. We'll get to that later. We have plenty of work to do with just the points. So previous efforts we've done this kind of point location digitizing, and so you'll see some of this has been done all the way through, and then the data that's been completed already ends at the bottom of this map sheet. As soon as I scroll down, you'll see the data abruptly end. So our task really then is on a sheet by sheet basis, starting here with sheet number 60 is what this one is. You'll see if I turn this on and off, that is sheet number 60. Starting with sheet number 60 is we'll be adding points to those. So I'll turn off sheet number 59, and really the first task then starts with adding the depth points for each of these, 5 or 6 of them in this survey line, and then proceeding to the next one. Notice they have the data on here as well. And as we move downstream, you'll see when they finished one survey and then started the other. And so this whole set of them here are all December 30s. And then looks like they took a break, and then maybe January 8th in 1883, they resumed their work and surveyed this block of them right here. All right, hopefully that's enough of an introduction to the general nature of the data. My next instructional video will show how to download the file and get the files ready on your computer for doing this digitizing work. All right, so just once again, really appreciate that you're being part of this project, and digitizing these points is tedious and a little mind-numbing, but if you put on some favorite music, can make it pretty tolerable. This these points end up becoming the basis then for creating 3D models of the channel geometry itself. So what I find so exciting about this project is that we take what's otherwise just printed on these maps, and you can get kind of a general sense of what the depths look like, but once we turn them into GIS point files, we can go so much further with analysis. So anyways, this is step one, certainly phase one. Future phases will be, again, to digitize these contour lines. Third phase will be to turn the GIS data then into actual 3D models for both quantitative analysis and visualization. So good stuff to come, but the first step is to get these all recorded in properly. All right, very good. I'll end this here, and we'll pick up with the next video.